starting all over again. It's gonna be rough on us, but we're gonna make it. It's Breakfast with Bob.
Thank you, Poncho Man. A little bit of normalcy. This is Breakfast with Bob, not quite Kona edition. We are brought to you by Hoka One One by Credo Tri, Four Seasons Hualalai Challenge Daytona Form Goggles, Canyon Bikes, Normatec, Amp Human VeloFix, UCAN, and our Challenged Athletes Foundation. Our next guest, only one of our favorite people on the planet. He is the two-time Ironman world champion and the first person to go under the magical 8-hour barrier at the Ironman World Championship. Mr. Patrick Lange joins us from Germany. Patrick, how are you?
I'm really good. It's just cool to get some of the Kona vibe into cold Germany.
Yeah, and I love the photo behind you. You've got your Honu and you've got your leis. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's actually at the Magic Sands beach. So I took it with a GoPro, and Honu is watching.
So you were able to do a race a few weeks ago. You went to Poland and got third at a 70.3. And was that like the first race you've done since last year's Kona?
Yeah, totally. So the first race since almost 1 year. It felt just great to get out there and racing again, and challenge myself and battle it out with the guys. And finishing on the podium was a really good feeling, and it was great, and it even like it just wakes up the energy to get to train for next season and be hungry again for 21 then.
So with since we haven't really chatted much since last year, right? You were not feeling well going into the 2019 race, correct?
Oh yeah, that's right. So to be honest, going into that race, I already woke up, had some fever, and but decided to race anyways, and turned out to be not a really smart decision to go out there in the heat with fever and just basically sick, and had to pull the plug. Of course, took quite a while to get over it. So it was a hard few weeks for me, because obviously everything comes down to Kona. The whole year builds up towards Kona. I was not in a bad shape, so actually had big hopes for the race, and just turned out to not be my year. And but now the motivation is back, and I can't wait to race again, and can't wait to get back to the Big Island next year.
So when you were racing as a junior in sort of that Olympic format, when did you realize that, you know what, I need to go longer? This doesn't quite work for me. It seemed like in around, was it 2013-ish, 2012 to 13, that's when you made the move to 70.3?
Yeah, that was 2012 was my first 70.3 race. But to be honest, my gut feeling was actually straight from childhood onwards, because I was always the guy who was running up and down the soccer field the longest, and I had that feeling that everything that's the longer the better for me. So I grew up with cross country running and mountain bike racing. Yeah. I mean, I took part in a mountain bike marathon, 120 kilometer on a mountain bike at the age of 15. So I was pretty sure that the longer the better, but Obviously, I wasn't in a national squad in junior category, and I needed to just have my education. I was studying a physical therapist, so my time did not allow to train properly for a long distance race. So until I met Ferris in 2015, I was actually, just not knowing how to train properly for that long course and balance the whole training life around long course racing. And he showed me how to do it. And since 2016, I think the results speak for itself that it worked quite good.
Yeah, well, and I tell people all the time, a lot of people see someone like yourself winning the Ironman 2 times in a row, breaking the course record, and they think that it's all been this path has all been paved out for you, but they don't realize that back in 2015, 2016, you were almost done with the sport. You were almost making that decision that I don't think I can afford to do this anymore.
That's true. It was a rocky road all the way to actually even go to Kona, because going into my first Ironman at Ironman Texas 2016 was just that big goal to go one day to compete in the professional field in Kona, and all of a sudden I found myself winning that race. But I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I'm training in endurance sports for more than 20 years now, and actually, 20, almost 25 here. I'm getting old, Bob.
No, no. You're still a young guy. You're still a young guy. So when you run a 240 marathon, you win Texas, then you come to Kona as a rookie, and at the end of the bike ride, you're what, 22nd place, something like that, and you get off the bike, and this is your first time racing in Kona, and people either love racing in Kona or it destroys them. Could you tell early on in that run that, you know what, this is my place, this is good for me?
Yeah, that also, it is coming onto the big island. Ferris gave me one big piece of advice, and that was smile if you leave the plane, stop smiling if you enter the plane for the flight back home. So he was saying to me, embrace it, enjoy it, to be there, just soak up the energy. And I arrived and I was just happy to be out there with the best in the world. And I was so excited to just race them and be part of it. So I was free. I had all that positive energy, and there was no need for a result or any negative doubts. So I was just going into that race completely free, completely open-minded, just curious what will happen. And I think that just set free so much energy. And when I hit the ground for the run, it was just immediately there. It was one of these days where I just had this legs where you can push, and obviously I was or of course I was a little bit afraid what will happen, especially in this magic place called Energy Lab, and then all the myths going around, and but to be honest, I felt good. And I think the island, even like it puts you up and gives you so much energy, and you just be like pushed for the whole course. Or it also can break you in some ways. But in this in the 3 years, like 16, 17, 18, it was just almost just 100% positive energy, and just pushed me to our 39:45 run course record.
Yeah, it's like every year. So that first year you break the run course record, while Mark Allen is standing right there holding the finish banner, who held the run course record of 240. And you had just broke his record. You apologized to him, and then the following year you break Craig Alexander's course record, and you go 8:01. And then in 18, you shatter the 8-hour barrier. You're the first guy under 8 hours. Just did everything, and then you proposed to your girlfriend. Because
Yeah.
so I mean, everything was just going perfect. Did the sponsors, after the third place, did the sponsors start coming on board then, or was it after the win?
Going into the race in 2016, I had a borrowed bike from Canyon. I had no sponsoring contracts at all. Obviously, I had a good result in Ironman Texas, which maybe would have given me the chance to negotiate in wintertime. So I think it would be good enough, the result in Germany, to find some sponsors. But the third place in my rookie year, I mean, let's be honest, it opened so many doors.
Yeah.
I was invited to press galas, and it just opened a world to like for the next level. And with that, also was like the team adding alcohol free was knocking on the door, which is a great partnership ever since. And yeah, Canyon, um, they gave me my Kona bike as a gift. So and with this gift, they gave me a sponsoring contract for the next 2 years, which was just great. And now I'm able to ride my most favorite bike, plus be sponsored, and not just have the borrowed
Yeah.
bike. So yeah, it changed a lot, but it didn't change the passion for racing, and the passion for pushing myself is still the same.
So when you finished third, and if you're from pretty much any other country, you would have been the first American or the first, first guy from France, whatever. You're third German, right? You got Jan winning and Sebastian second, and you get third. So the relationship between the German athletes, can you guys be friends? Can you train together when it means so much to be the best German? Because usually that means you're the best in the world.
So first of all, I think everyone who is looking at my finish will immediately notice that it just meant so much to me. And maybe I wasn't the third place who was kind of, I mean, there are third place finishes that are kind of unhappy with the result, but I was over the moon. And this emotions just gave me also, I think, a huge push. So in general, how people notice it, the third place was actually kind of the same level, even if I have won the race,
Right.
because it was everywhere. And so yeah, that's just that being said. But coming back to your question, I think the simple answer is no. Of course, there is no big friendship, because obviously we are pushing ourselves day in, day out in the training, because everyone knows that the other guy is also like training hard, and in the races we just go all out. But I think once the career is finished, I think we will sit down together with a couple of beers and talk about the good old times. So I think that's pretty normal at the moment.
So the fact that you were sick in the race and had to drop out, and then Jan goes and doesn't just win, but he breaks your course record. He goes 7:51:13. Knowing you, I think you look at that as, hey, that's a little motivation for me. I would like my win back, and I would like my record back. Is that what was pushing you before this whole COVID thing hit? That, hey, I want to get back in the top of the podium, and I want my record back.
Of course, I mean, that's he set the new benchmark, and obviously he had a great race, and it was, I mean, of course, in the moment where he broke the record, I was kind of sad, but I mean, that's what records are meant to be, and to be broken. But as I said, he raised the bar, and of course, that's our orientation where we want to be. I think I made some good changes in my surroundings, with changing the coach and just working on weaknesses that hopefully brings me back into top shape. And if that's the case, I think I will be competitive enough to race for the podium.
When you look back over your career, what do you look at as the toughest moment you've had to deal with?
I mean, the toughest moment in my career was obviously the moment where in 2015, where all the sponsors I had before canceled their I mean, there wasn't much. I mean, there was one big sponsor that supported me for 2 years, and he said, we're so weak, we can't proceed our sponsoring. So that just put me on this edge of ending the career. And I really know how that felt to almost be taking away this dream of being a professional triathlete. And as soon as I had the chance to go back and try to be come back as a professional full-time triathlete, I was just so happy to be given that chance that I just took so much energy out of it. So the moment where I was in between those both worlds, in between of like, can I go further and like try to go to the long distance, and actually going to the physical therapist table and treat grandmas, which isn't a bad job. Of course, I don't want to say that, but obviously my dream was always to be professional.
Yeah. Well, it's either you were going to get a real job or you were going to pursue your dream. And you wanted to pursue your dream, and all of a sudden, with the win at Texas, that sort of changed everything. What do you look at as you've had a lot of happy memories, especially in Kona. What is your happiest memory?
Yeah, the happiest memory is definitely proposing to Julia. The moment where I kneed in front of her, and the moment where everything was actually blacked out, so that even if I was in that total observation of the TV cameras and even Mike Riley holding the mic, and honestly I did not notice any of these things, even I don't know how many people are in the finish line area, but actually it was a moment just between her and me, and it was just awesome.
That is so cool. What do you think it is about you that has helped to make you a champion? Because you were at a point, you were at a crossroads where you could have left, and the safe thing would have been to go get a real job and say, hey, I had a nice career as a short distance athlete and did some nice things in 70.3, but it's time to go get a real job. What is it about you that allowed you to have that self-confidence and pursue your dream?
I think if I look at some other professional athletes, I think I just found the way that I am working the best, which is as I mentioned before, the thing that Ferris told me, like, you have to smile all the way. You have to be grateful to be there and just be humble for the moment and what you're allowed to experience. And that's just, it's just my attitude, or I found out that this is my attitude where I can be like the most efficient and the most successful with, because obviously a lot of people just have that, they say like you have to be that killer mentality and with you know, grinding teeth and just have to you know, bite your way through it, and it's just not mine. So I'm working the best if I'm, you know, cool with everyone else and have a friendly surrounding. I have my family with me, my wife with me, and like this. That's the most important thing for me, and that's the way I work best.
I love it. Hey, Patrick, thank you so much for taking time to chat and catch up. And I'm excited to have you on our Not Quite Kona edition, but I'll be more excited when we have the real Kona edition. We're back at Huggos and then hopefully back at Four Seasons together next next October.
Thanks for the invitation, and you know, always a pleasure to see you and hopefully meet you in real life again.
All
soon.
right. Patrick Lange has been our guest, two-time Ironman World Champion, the first person to go under 8 hours at Ironman World Championship. Patrick, you are the best.
Thanks. Bye.